Hello everyone. My name is Puspa Wulandari. I'm from English Education Department class 5A. And for this material from the subject is teaching English for young learners. So I would like to bring the topic. The topic is characteristic of early bilingual in teaching English for young learners. So the next is the parts of the bilingual. So there are many kinds of the parts. The first one is the definition. What is early bilingual? And second one is the characteristic of the bilingual. What are the characteristics of bilingual? And also the last one is the principle. What are the principles of bilingual? All right. The first one is the definition of the bilingual. When we study about the teaching English for young learners, we will find a subject about the characteristic of the early bilingual. Before we discuss about the early bilingual, firstly we should know about what is the early bilingual is. All right, the early bilingual is when the young children start to regularly hear about the two languages instead just one. The children may hear these languages from birth, or they may start to hear a second language at a somewhat later age. And the classification informs effective bilingual education designed for the children as well as adult language training and assessment. There are three kinds of the early bilingual. The first one is compound bilinguals. Second one is coordinate bilinguals, and the last one is subordinate bilinguals. The unit 2 is the characteristic. All right, there are several kinds of the characteristic of the bilingual. The first one is the bilingual people. The bilingual people are most often part of two cultures or cultures where more than one language is used. The second is bilingual people may not speak both languages equally well. Bilingual people use each language in different areas of their lives. Some may speak one language as at home and the other for everyday business. The next is bilingual individuals may not be able to translate quickly. It doesn't mean they do know the language is very well. The words don't automatically translate equally into another language, so it takes some thinking to figure out a good translation. The fourth is the bilingual sometimes mix languages when speaking to each other. The major reason is that some words don't translate well. All right. The third unit is the principle. The principle of the bilingual, there are a lot of the principle in early bilinguals. So the first is support the first languages and opportunities to use it themselves in different ways in their everyday classroom activities will open out the potential for learning for bilingual pupils. And then the second one is promoting home languages at school is an important way to support the homeschool links and encourage families and schools to work in partnership. Next is talk is one of the most important channels and tools for learnings, and pupils construct their knowledge in the classroom in all subjects through talk, and so need every possible opportunity to explore ideas and concepts through the talk, not just in English and the literacy hours. The next is the best reading developed from the powerful and meaningful personal experience, usually mediated by talk Before beginning the extent rating the activities, pupils always need the chance for collaborative and discuss and planning. The next is knowledge. More than one languages, more than one language promotes awareness of language system and structure, and this awareness needs to be supported and can be used as a valuable teaching and learning tool. Next, the number 6. The last one is all learning, and especially language learning, is enhanced and strategic, strengthened by the opportunities of the hand-on experience. All right. There are also the other principle in early bilinguals material. So the first one is cognitive interaction principle. The children in primary or elementary school are usually in what is called the concrete operational stage of cognitive development. This means, or it means that they learn through hand-on experience and through manipulation of object in the environmental. The children in primary or elementary school setting generally learn by the doing. It means that when the children are learning science or the mathematics context, they need to be actively involved in experimenting with the mathematics and also or the science material that they can manipulate. The main point of the cognitive interaction principle is that the student in elementary school learning by doing. Um, So the teacher not only teach about the materials, but also the student ask the student to join the teaching learning process. The second one is cognitive principle. The basic principle both of the first and second language acquisition that the acquisition occurs through the learners making and testing out the hypothesis out about the language. And language acquisition involves the cognitive work of the creative constructor of the roles of the language. And in terms of the classroom context and implication is that the learner need the opportunities to use and to experiment with another language. And another implication is that the mistake is natural and inevitable part of learning. And in teaching learning process, the teacher use the Indonesian, English, or Balinese or Japanese. It makes this student easier to understand the target of the language. Last but not least, the student interaction approach. The student interaction approach believes that the structure of the human language may have arisen from the social communicative function. Language plays in human relation. Alice Fillmore, present in Thomas Crow, 1996. Putting this principle into the practice would mean that the learners need to talk with each other and need to have language input from the others. All right. Thank you so much for watching my videos, and that's all about my presentation for right now. If you have any kinds of the question, you can ask or type it on the chat box. Thank you very much and have a good day. Bye.